that we had a third person yesterday?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Keep doing it. Keep bringing people on.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want me to throw the balls here?
I'm going to give people some free advice about public speaking coming from someone who is partially dyslexic and has a lisp. My lisp is still there, but it's less severe than it once was. Anywho, if you are reading from a teleprompter, ensure that the text you're reading from sounds natural. For example, what AI will typically do is it will not vary the sentence length. A lot of it will be short with periods. Da, 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 da. All right. Did you hear that tempo? When you speak, it's like music. You need to vary the sentence length. And typically, sentence lengths that sound pleasurable and natural vary from short to medium to long. And sometimes they go short, short, medium, long. For example, dun 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 but dun 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 dun. You hear me? It's tempo that makes it sound natural. And so when I talk, the reason it sounds natural, the reason your favorite speakers sound natural is because you see how they draw out the word. They are taking you on a dance. It's like Beethoven and the greatest speakers will speak in a way that once you see what I'm talking about, you'll start analyzing them when you watch them on a podcast and think, oh, that's why they sound so good. Now, sure, there's their tone, the way that they speak clearly. That's part of it. But a lot of it has to do with the tempo. And the varying of the sentence lengths is going to be the best way for you to get a natural sounding text for your teleprompter. And you should prompt your AI to vary the sentence length. So when you prompt it, say, no, that sounds too much like AI wrote it. Get rid of the short sentences and vary the grammar in such a way that it sounds natural.
You're giving game right now, Daniel. Giving game away. Got it. So, you see all these guys and who have blown up. I'll send you some accounts. They've blown up and they know fuckola. Fuckola, they know. It's all teleprompter. They have typewriters or whatever it is. Typewriters, copywriters. And then they basically put on a teleprompter, but they've got two cameras. They've got one to the side and one to the front. And then they'll be like, da, 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 and they'll wait, and they'll go, okay, let me do this next time like that. Blah, 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 blah. That's why streaming is super authentic. You can't read off a teleprompter. It's just you. It's just how you talk. And people can tell when you're bullshitting. But yeah, with the second camera, you can cut it up and make it super natural. But yeah, you're right. If you're reading off teleprompter, you need to make it different grammatically with the tempo. Tempo is so important. Tempo is so important. And you know who's the goat of all this? Who's the Marcus Aurelius? Who's the Tupac? Who's the Drake? Who's the Muhammad Ali? Andrew Tate.
There's a few of them.
Natural. So natural. I put him top two.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably top 100 people out there. He's definitely in that bucket, especially within his archetype. But there are some greats, man. I mean, I can run them off the top of the dome anytime. I mean, even Mr. Jordan Peterson in his earlier days was fantastic. Fantastic, bro. You know? I'm trying to think within that archetype who compares to Andrew Tate. No one comes to mind within that archetype.
No.
With regards to delivering the speech, as well as having the receipts. There are some good speakers out there, but they don't have the same receipts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Then there are some people that have the receipts, but not the speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very true. By the way, when you see me looking down, I'm just talking to some people about getting people on the stream.
I can go on a rant.
Please.
Before I do that, notice when you rewatch this how you spoke to me without the teleprompter. That's how you want to speak. I knew some guys that they knew fuckola and that. You need to keep up with that tempo. That's natural for you. And everyone is going to have their own tempo. And everyone is going to have their own tempo. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will sound like this. And it will do like that. And ba ba.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And we all know how AI talks, right? So people can be like, and what's more surprising, it's like that's AI.
and here's the real question. So-
And yeah, and something that most people don't know, here's the real question.
here's the part they miss.
Daniel, we got somebody joining us on the stream. He hasn't come yet. By the way, when they come, I leave him in the green room until like Khaled was in the green room for 4 minutes yesterday because I wanted you to finish the point. So they'll join. They'll be in the green room. We'll add them in when we want. But this is a financial planner that lives
Okay.
in
What's his
Dubai.
name?
His
Yeah.
name is Kevin, and there's a certain fund thing in Dubai where you give them money and it's almost too good to be true. And this guy called it, and he said, "Nah, that's shit." And then now they've stopped paying. We're not going to mention names because we're going to get sued. He's in the green room now. Should I add him, or is there a point you want to make?
Well, before we add him in, we're going to ask this guy some questions, right? So the
Yeah,
more context you can give me, the better. When you say he's a financial planner, what do you mean? He's a financial advisor for people that um, want to see what he thinks about making decisions with where to put their
yeah.
capital, or
You're going to have a great conversation with him about Bitcoin. A great conversation. He's a financial
okay,
planner from London, lives in Dubai, and manages people's wealth. I did a podcast with him. It's the one I did in the desert.
okay, let's do it.
Yeah, great podcast. You ready? Is there any rants you got on?
Yeah, I'll just ask some questions. We got to get to know him a bit more first.
Ladies and
After your
gentlemen,
voice,
Kevin Crowler.
how are we?
Good mate.
Mate, you're
How are you?
echoing. Put headphones in. Connect your headphones to your laptop.
Right, bear with me.
And turn on some light. You're super white.
Is that better?
Nah, that's good. That's good,
You
mate.
need to do some looks maxing. You know what I mean? You need to work on your melatonin. There you go, much better.
What are you talking about, mate? White is back. It's cool to
White
be
is
white again.
back, but it's not. But everybody knows black don't crack. And
Bro,
once you
the
go,
whitest whites possible, please.
you go Persian, there's no better
Sunbathing in Bali
version.
then, no?
Mate, you need to put your headphone in. You're cracking. You're echoing bad. Yeah, he's gonna put his
No,
headphones in.
I'm struggling to hear him in general. That's all.
Same.
Yeah. All right.
But
Before
it's
we commence, allow me, Radin, because you've already interviewed him, to ask him a few preliminary questions so that we understand exactly what he does, and then we can get into some dialogue.
Is that better, guys?
do you have AirPods?
It's good enough. It's good enough, bro.
I'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, it's good
I
enough.
don't think
It's good
it's
enough.
I don't think your headphones are actually connected. You might have to jump off and jump back on. Before you jump back on, there's a drop down, and then you put it on you connect your headphones to it first.
Yeah, you want to.
This is why the United Kingdom imperialism has gone to shit, Daniel, because white guys like this can't figure out how to connect a headphone. Is there anything you want me to tell you about this gentleman before he jumps on? Or, by the way, when I add these people on, I step back and let you do the interviewing.
No, I'll interview him. It'll be fun.
Yeah. You know, you give me shit about socializing and networking with plebs, and then it all comes to handy one day, doesn't it, Daniel? All comes handy one day.
But I can get people online as well, bro, just from my posts. They're in my inbox.
Yep. Yeah, but there's no internet in prison.
Are we working?
Yeah, boy.
Perfect.
There we
Perfect.
go. Sorry about that.
Are you lagging a little bit?
Nah.
All good?
Give me a quick
Fine.
ABC.
ABC.
Yeah, he knows his ABCs, Daniel.
Not just a pretty face, eh?
Not just pretty face, no. Daniel, this is Ryan Crowther. He's a financial planner. Basic Kevin Ryan. Why did I go
Where are you
Ryan?
getting Ryan from, bro?
Kevin Crowther. Sorry, he's a financial planner. Uses people with high net worth individuals come to him, give him his millions, and he invests it for them. Right. Now, the reason, I'm a bit wary about these people, right, Daniel? But he has called it very well, and he's been calling it for a while, and we've all been ignoring him. But then now, some people are starting to stop doing payouts, and and he's always called, nah, that's not good. Do not put your money in there. That smells like a Ponzi to me. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Everyone's putting their money in there. And he's like, he's called it. I got to say, he has called it.
Yeah, how much detail can we go into? We're keeping things fairly high level, are we?
Yeah, we don't want to
Yes.
go to prison.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the conversation started between you and Iridin, 6 months ago, maybe? Like, because you had some business exits and some liquidity was hitting, and we discussed the idea of some sort of fixed income based investment generating very, very attractive yields. Dan, have you invested in this particular scheme company?
No.
No, he's the smart one. Any
He's a
particular
smart one.
reason for that, by the way? I presume you're quite familiar with them, are you?
I don't know anything about this entire situation. I'm plugged out entirely.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to turn off the air conditioning. Continue, guys.
Okay. Radine gave you some background about, I guess, what developments over the past couple of months.
He said that there was a particular financial instrument that a group of people were investing in. The returns seemed unreasonable. I don't know what those returns were, but I presume more so than something like STRC from MSTR. I'm presuming it's north of, I don't know, 15, 20%, those sorts of vibes. And then all of a sudden, a good thing turns into a bad thing. That's all I know so far.
That's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. If it's too good to be true, then it generally is, especially in the world of investing. And, you've compared it to MicroStrategy, which is arguably one of the most speculative strategies available in the investment world today. And the returns are higher than that. And that's before. So I think Radine explained. So I'm essentially a multifamily office. So I manage and structure high net worth individuals' wealth and assets, and then obviously run the strategies in financial markets alongside that. If I was to put client money into this particular scheme, there would be heavy commissions paid to me, which means, let's say the company's paying or promising 18% returns, fixed income to the client. On top of that, we're talking, let's say, 8 to 10% commissions to me as the introducing broker. Plus, obviously, the company needs to make money, pay for their marketing, pay for their very, very flashy office, which they have here in Dubai, amongst others around the world. So it's like, if you do the maths, the company's, let's say, 50% in the red on an investment before they've even made money themselves, which you don't generate 50% returns consistently without a good situation turning bad, like you say.
How often are the payouts, or they were supposed to be? How often?
Quarterly.
Okay. Enough time for them to fuck you.
Yeah. Absolutely, especially when you get the sales agent on the phone saying, don't worry, we'll miss this one, everything will be fine by next quarter, let that run for a couple of quarters. And the thing with these schemes, right, is you simply fold the company, file for bankruptcy, all the money's gone, the directors, the shareholders, whoever's at the top of the let's use the word pyramid, they've had their dividends, their bonuses, their investments, their wages, whatever it may be, and the investors are left holding the bag with claims against a company with zero assets, right?
Yeah, I'm a current victim of a similar situation, but one that is less predictable than that. Over there in Bali, in fact, a resort that filed for bankruptcy, and our shareholders are just, like you said, holding the bag until further notice. So yeah, I'm intimate enough with cunts, but when it comes to these sorts of unreasonably attractive situations. I think people deserve to learn their lesson once. I honestly do. I just think there were so many signs, so many people like yourself forewarning people that if you lost a couple mil because you're a fucking retard, well, that's a good trauma to have.
You probably won't make the same mistake twice.
Hmm.
But you're absolutely right. You know, these people do need to learn their lesson, because the unfortunate reality is, unless you come from an investing background, or at least have half good knowledge on, you know, what good looks like, what too good to be true looks like, and what risk actually means, you don't know. And if I come to you as a regulated, let's say, investment professional, and I say we can consistently generate 10 to 12% returns, no problems. If we want to have a little bit more volatility, let's say 14 to 18% fairly consistently over the long term. Or a competitor of mine comes to you and says, yeah, we can guarantee you quarterly coupons, quarterly payouts of 18% every single quarter with no volatility and no risk. Which one sounds better? Unless you have the background knowledge to give that promise context, then obviously you're going to go with the latter, and that's why, unfortunately, these schemes are incredibly successful.
It's still perplexing to me how people fall for them, because my first question as a man with common sense is, how was this company generating the income to pay me the 18%? What is it that they do? Do they cure cancer?
Well, 18% to you, 10% to me. Then they have obviously commission-based employees, and then the marketing. But it's, you know, if we could generate returns like this, we would all be billionaires. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you for certain they're not curing cancer. They claim to make their money through a little bit of property here and there, through a little bit of crypto trading, which obviously I know you're well versed in.
No, I'm not.
No?
No, I'm a Bitcoin capital investor, but I'm not a crypto guy nor a trader. This is where a lot of people get me misconstrued. I'm a set and forget, and I'm someone that openly says, you know, I told Radin the other day, I'm about 20 mil down on crypto, not Bitcoin. Yeah, like that much
Oh, wow.
down.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
capital that you ventured away from Bitcoin into the slightly grayer and darker corners of the crypto market is cost you 20 mil.
Yep. CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, Cardano. I've
He's
still
a
got
degenerate.
it fully.
He's a degenerate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all my friends are degenerates.
That goes to show, stick with what you know, right? Especially in the world of investing. If you've got common sense, it's logical and it makes sense to you, and you can put the pieces of the puzzle together, like stick in that corner of the financial markets. As soon as you start to try and chase those higher returns, yeah, you get eaten alive, and that's a perfect example of it.
I did it because we were bored in 2020. That's the honest truth. And we had a great time. We had such a great time trading those CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. And I knew I always had to have a bag of Bitcoin because reality would eventually strike. And we even said before this last cycle that we're gonna round trip, bro. And we did.
What does round trip mean?
It means Ethereum goes from 1,000 to 5,000. You should cash it out because you're about 25x up. And they're like, nah, we'll just hold it all. And now it's to 2,000.
Bro, fighting that greed is a motherfucker.
You know why? It's so hard to fight that greed when you don't immediately need to use the funds. Nowadays,
Correct.
now that I have a family, I try to keep the runway of dry powder, 3-4 years in the future. But back then, my runway was a week of dry powder.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah, you're more sensible. And also, when the bull market hits in, there's so much noise. There's so much noise. It's going to go to 800. It's going to go to 700. It's going to go to this. And you're like, all right, I'm going to hold my Solana. It's going to hit 800. He said it.
Yeah, if you need the money, it's not a good place to be when that drawdown eventually happens.
No, honestly, it's just better to just disconnect and turn off your Wi-Fi and just look at that number and go, this number is a good number. I'm going to cash it out then.
But sir, you probably understand people like me. For people like myself now, it's very hard for us to feel content with where our capital is going to work because of these insane gains in the past. I mean, it borders on depression if I have to invest in ETFs. For example, even Nasdaq. Nasdaq is kind of my proxy that I need to surpass over the long term. I look at Nasdaq and I just think, is that it? I just can't do it, bro.
This is the trouble, though, right? This is the trouble. It's, you make those really impressive gains for a short period of time, and then you become almost like immune. Like that's the new normal, and then
Hmm.
it's the continuous chasing. And this people make incredible returns over a short period of time, all the time. It's making those gains consistently and not taking excessive risk and giving all of those gains back to the market when something changes, something turns against you, and there's a big problem. And even using the Nasdaq, one of the most volatile indexes out there, that's still a very volatile, risky by a broader sense benchmark to be using. And the Nasdaq's pumping at the moment, going remarkably well, but consistently over the long term, can it keep generating 20, 25, 30% returns while we now in our fourth year of something of gains like that? Like, it can't happen, right?
Nearly impossible. And despite me being fully aware of these probabilities or lack thereof, I'm just not sure what I'm going to do, man. Like I just can't go back. Since 2015, my average CAGR is well beyond. I don't know. I don't even check it. 80%, 100%. I don't know. I'm very early to Bitcoin and ETH, obviously. And I guess for me, the take home point is that if I'm not going to continue to get north of 25% average CAGR with Bitcoin, I'm going to go back and build a business where I know I can, because
Yeah.
my both of my businesses do. So for me, the idea of passively holding 80% of my worth in S&P or just some bundle of things that are growing at 10 to 12%, I'd rather just kill myself.
Well, if you didn't have the business, you'd kill yourself from boredom by checking the chart move 0.1% every day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's not true. I guess if net worth is north of 100 million for me, which I presume you're dealing with people that are 10, 50, 100 mil, I guess I would take a chill pill because a lot of it is lifestyle related. For example, if you're able to live off a withdrawal rate of 4% per year on
Yeah.
your portfolio and let the rest go to work, 4% on 100 mil, that's 4 mil a year. That's good going.
Why take the risk? That's what the conversation becomes. It's like, if you can guarantee the risk-free rate at, let's say, 4% at the moment, it's bang on basically 4%. Guarantee that for the rest of your life. Like, why would you even go and risk that capital on some punt? And don't get me wrong, go and take a couple of mil and play with it, and that's the casino money. But keep the majority of the net worth in these stable assets where we know and we can predict what they're going to do over the long term. Because it's you might kill yourself from boredom with 4% or let's say 10% in the S&P, but you'd probably kill yourself a lot quicker if it all goes to zero when you're back sweeping the streets.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought exercise. I often tell Radin that I kind of miss being broke. I know it sounds cooked, but life was very fulfilling knowing that I knew exactly what to do that day.
Yeah.
Now I'm in this what we call, well, it's not seven-figure hell anymore. It's a little bit north of that, but I'm in this hell where I'm not rich enough to truly ball, but I'm too rich to get a day job.
I don't know. I think you can ball. I think you've got enough play money to really suck out the best that life has to offer.
Bro, I can't live on 100 grand a month in Dubai. Who can? I don't understand. This is what I don't understand, right? So people go, 100 grand a month is hoops in Dubai. I go, okay, let's go on Dubizzle right now and have a look at properties in Dubai Hills and Al Barari and the Palm. The rent is 3 million dirhams a year. How is it we're getting the car, the maids for the daughters and the wife and the lifestyle and the leisure and how is 100 grand a month even scraping the sides? Because for me, it didn't.
But if you rewound the clock and you were talking to yourself before the blow up, do you think that version of you would be like, "Fuck me, 100 grand a month? That's way more than I ever needed."
Nah, I've always been a greedy cunt.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
you've not always had 100 grand a month to piss up the wall.
For at least a decade, I have.
But before that, so there's the lifestyle creep. But
I've always been terribly greedy. Meaning, I had bigger aspirations. I thought I'd already have 100 mil by now. I fly first class Emirates, and I think, fuck, there's some cunt that didn't have to go through immigration like I did, and the stopover, and he's on a big 7. What is he on? What does Drake have? He's got a Boeing
737.
737. I think fuck. That's, you know what I think, bro. I think that's a human being. Meaning we are both human beings, and he did it. And here's me thinking that I can't do it, as if Drake is God or something. That's just a human, my age.
fair enough.
You I remember Daniel was flying to Georgia, so he had to do a layover somewhere, and he was messaging me. He was going there from Bali. He was messaging me because there's no direct flights. He was messaging me like, "Fuck this layover crap. This fucking broke his shit. Why do we have to fucking do this?"
It is shit.
It is shit. There's no two ways about it. And even the queue at immigration is also shit. So, I completely get your perspective. In which case, the potential upside is worth risking what you've built up until today, right? Because then you can get the 747 and live like Drake, and then the payoff, the risk-reward ratio for you and what you're trying to achieve makes a lot of sense. Which is why you probably would kill yourself if you were getting your 4% or your 10% in the S&P or in treasuries. But for a lot of people, once, let's say, fast forward and you do have the 100M and you're in that position where there's very, very little upside to be squeezed out of the capitalist world that we all live in, compared to there's a hell of a lot of downside. Well, at that point, hey, why take the risk? Go and stick it all in 4% treasuries, 30-year dated, keep rolling them over. You, your kids, and the 100 generations, if you structure it all properly so they can't go and gamble it all away, you're all set for life at that point.
Yeah, it's if I get there, 100 mil, I think, is that magic number with the current rate of inflation, at least. But I have a question for you then, sir, because let's presume that I make it to 100 million. My Bitcoin bet pays off, and pays off really well. Then I'm faced with the question of where to deploy this capital. I understand diversifying based on geography, not just assets. But man, with someone like me as outspoken as I am, and after seeing what happens to the likes of Andrew Tate, can I truly part with my $50 to $100 million outside of cold storage and give it to any jurisdiction and say, nah, it'll be right. It'll be right for my kids and me when I'm gone, when this whole hate speech policing is getting very real right now. I mean, you're from the UK, so you understand. I just don't know if I can. So when people ask me what's my main thesis behind Bitcoin right now, I say two things. Number one, governments can seize your crypto. They can't seize your Bitcoin. Know the difference. And people that don't, they need to go and, do a crash course. Number two, if Bitcoin was $1 million tomorrow and I'm ready to deploy it around the world again, I'm ready to get bumfucked by governments. I don't know if I can. I've been burned. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can trust Dubai. I don't know if I can trust Australia, the UK. Look at how I speak online. I'm not sure if you have. I just reckon they'd fucking take it from me for saying the wrong thing.
Yes. And then it's no longer just diversification across assets, jurisdictions. It's diversification across institutions, regulatory infrastructure, and that's when you really spread your bets across all different avenues that you possibly can, right? So you can't guarantee everything. And coming back to the cold storage, what happens if, I don't know how you keep it, but it's probably in some safe in a cave in Switzerland or one of these cold storage solutions. But What happens if they get fucked or a missile strikes that cable? What happens if you lose the memory stick in your back pocket? So no storage of wealth is truly risk-free. So my answer would be, we minimize that risk by diversification across all storages of wealth, across all regulatory landscapes in all jurisdictions.
So you'd have somewhere, and I won't get into my cold storage strategy, but yes, I've obviously thought that through. Just know that it's pretty genius. Because yeah,
Sick.
and anything obvious, you know, people often say, "Oh, what if someone fucking kidnaps you?" I say, I have made my Bitcoin unkidnappable. So there's your hint. Torture me all you want. You won't be able to get it. It's
That
impossible.
happened to
All right.
that happened to a friend and client of mine, by the way. Made it was around about 100M in Bitcoin. Kidnapped. He was on holiday. I can't remember exactly where, but on holiday, thieves broke in, kidnapped him. Yeah, it was a bad situation. So it happens, you know.
Yeah, it happens. You know, I went to Dubai and a lot of people were approaching me like, "Hey, man, you know, be careful about this." And I'm thinking, brother, I don't know if you know where I come from. You know, it's not my first rodeo. Is all I'm saying. Like,
Rodeo.
I'm fully fucking aware with people with masks and pistols, bro. You know,
Yeah.
Uh,
Mate, I've
it's
seen you on
it's
that
kind of
punching bag
exciting.
as well, mate. So they're gonna need a gun to take you down.
Yeah, I mean, anyone with capital and intent can kidnap you. So you do want to just make it foolproof, you know. But that to me is still relatively unlikely, especially when you have private security and you position yourself well. Blah blah blah. But do you do this for clients? Are you familiar with any clients that have either a paranoia or maybe they're from a sanctioned country? So it might not just be someone like me paranoid about hate speech. It may be someone from Russia or the CCP. Wink, wink. Some Han Chinese guy. Do you get this?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's certainly one of the larger parts of what I do, and what we do is, so the technical name for my company is an external asset manager, which means we sit above the banks and we access all banks in all jurisdictions and lots of different financial institutions. So it's about identifying, if you're paranoid about, let's say, the UK, well, we don't want to keep the money there, we go elsewhere, Singapore, UAE, whatever it may be. Or if you're more paranoid about highly regulated jurisdictions, well, then maybe we look at the Caymans, the Bahamas, the Bermudas. One incredibly robust jurisdiction is Nevis. They're not signed up to CRS, for example. Lots of privacy, and it's really, really difficult, if not impossible, for someone to come claim your money. So to an individual such as yourself, I'd say, well, let's remove the money from your ownership entirely by sticking it under a Nevis-based trust. There's weird and wonderful ways that we can retain that control in a non-direct sense for the purposes of obviously the structure. But then there's a trust that owns the money, not you. And then there's a Nevis-based private bank, which is holding the money, which will never give that information to anyone. And that's your safe, right? That's the legacy and the multi-generational safe of, well, there's 10 million should everything really go bad that no one will ever be able to get their hands on. And that's just one option.
That's fantastic. I've done something similar for my daughters. Man, this is such a great chat. These are the sorts of conversations I love to have. Fortunately or unfortunately, I will say 50% of my clients look like me. And when I say look like me, they look like cocaine dealers from West Sydney. And I presume a lot of them are based on our introduction. They say, "Hey, bro, you know, I'm doing some things right now that I'm not proud of. I'm looking to stop."
Yeah.
Bro, they fully give me the heads up and they say, "Can we chat on Signal?" I go, "Brother, as long as you're not hurting little kids, what you do is not, you know, it's not my business, you know." And I advise them based on how I see things, you know, and similar kind of to what you do. But I will say that most of these clients are not ultra high net worth individuals. It's between the 1 to 3 million net worth range. So they understand that should they leave a place like Australia or Europe, their 2 or 3 million will go far if they are able to live in somewhere like Bali or South America. They can take advantage of that geo arbitrage because, I mean, as you know, in Dubai, $3 million is what? Chump change.
Yeah, it doesn't go very far. If you're living like you, it doesn't go so far. That's for sure.
I mean, where are you going to live in fucking Alawiyah?
Yeah, good. You can pick up a good spot for 3 mil over here.
Listen, yeah. Don't be shitting on Aloia.
Bro, it's basically the desert with construction site everywhere and Indians building. I mean, I can't see the appeal.
Value for
I
money,
can't.
my friend. Value for money. That's the only appeal. Like, let's not beat around the bush. We're not here for the scenery or the great view, are we?
Yeah, fair enough. You know, I've been thinking about alternative places and I'm obviously in one right now. I mean, this is a representation of how deep we are in this bear market. I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia. Have you been to been to this place before?
I've not no.
Man, of all of the odd non-brandy places I've been to, because that's kind of my new goal. I'm trying to find somewhere new that isn't discussed online.
Yeah, not overrun by tourists.
Yes. Yes. This place, man, right now it does feel like
Yo,
the honeymoon phase. That like I'm gonna discover something that I don't like.
Yeah,
But I just can't quite discover that right now. It's incredible, bro. I don't know.
sweet.
I don't know what to say.
How long have you been camped out there for?
We've been here for just over 5 or 6 weeks within our lease. Like we've actually moved in. Now, for
Right.
someone like me who lives within his 6 kilometer radius or less, um, I've been fortunate enough to live in the rich people bubbles in these countries. Like when I go to Austria, I live in District 1. And, you know, quite frankly, the rest of Vienna to me is fucking shithole,
Yeah.
you know, and full of immigrants. But here, it just, bro, it doesn't make sense, bro. It, we got this bottle of water, a bottle of water, like a nice glass one at the coffee shop. And I was like, what do they cost? I'm thinking $2, maybe it's cheap, like 30 cents. I'm like, this is not possible, bro. We got a taxi, a new Tesla, like a new one, the same one you get in Dubai. And it was $2.70. I was like, there's no way that that's possible. There's no way the app is taking their commission. And he did
Yeah.
that for $2. It's not possible.
Economically, it makes 0 sense. Wow. Well, mate, 100 grand over there then per month. You are living like a king. More. You won't be able
Like,
to
bro,
spend it at those prices. You won't be able to spend it.
the best apartment in this building that we're waiting on because we need a number of them because of our maids and her parents and everything. It's available in June and it's 15,000 US dollars per month before negotiations. Oh man, this is slick.
Yeah, and what is we're talking penthouse, serious kit out vibes, yeah?
Yeah, double story, 450 squares, beautiful.
Wow.
In
Wow.
the spot. There's really, to me, only
by
two
the
or
way,
three
how's the
spots in the whole of
internet?
Tbilisi. Good.
Yours is fucked. For us, it's fine.
Yeah, it's yours, Radid.
Mine is fucked. Okay, because I can't at all see you guys at all. You guys are just super laggy. You're
I
back
think
now.
it's yours.
Perfect. We're back.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you were
Couple
saying
more
Tbilisi.
questions. Yeah, Tbilisi. But don't
Okay.
worry about me. I rant all day. I want to ask you, mate, some more questions. I want to ask him his genuine thoughts about Bitcoin.
Yeah. What, should we start at a high time frame and then we can become more specific? Should we do it that way?
No, definitely everything with low time preference. You know, I'm a capital investor, not a trader. So let's talk about fundamentals, where you see it five,
Okay,
10 years from now.
yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by higher. Mate, it's a scarce asset in a world where money is printed infinitely. It can only go one way. Buy it, hold it. You'll make a shitload of money. That's my genuine thoughts.
Nice. I like that.
Around that, there is, of course, more opportunistic moments to buy it, of which we're close to one. I don't believe we're at just yet, but if you follow the 4-year cycle, which I personally believe in, now is an incredible time to accumulate Bitcoin. There's no two ways about it. But over the long term, 10 years, 50 years, whatever, like it's only going to go one direction, and it'll make a lot of people who invest for the long term, such as yourself, rather than these traders who think they're smarter than everybody else, a shitload of money.
Yep. I can't disagree with that. Obviously, I'm biased. How about concerns? Let's try and play devil's advocate. I often do this with all of my assets. I try to pick apart my own investments. I try to be biased against myself.
Yeah.
Anything you're concerned about with Bitcoin right now?
There's a couple of like concerns, quantum computing, cracking the Bitcoin code, there's risks associated with like, that's one. Do I believe fundamentally that it'll be a huge issue? No. Two, what's another massive concern is like what Satoshi is the CIA, and you can start to go down that rabbit hole, or Russia, and all of a sudden no one wants to touch the thing anymore and it completely tanks and goes to zero. Like realistically, that's not going to happen. And even if it did, fundamentally, I think it's a position in the market now where it may go incredibly low for a short period of time, but it's an asset that's going to be here for the long term. And I don't think you can fundamentally come away from the fact, as I said, it's a limited, scarce resource and asset in a world where fiat is printed infinitely. Like it has to be priced up as fiat is printed, and that's just the fundamental driver of it. What other risks? What, it just falls out of favor of the market? People are like, no. Like, even if it's not in favor, fiat, the forces of infinite fiat printing will outweigh that over the long term, always. So, but all assets have risk, right? What happens if Apple can't sell any more iPhones tomorrow and goes to zero? Like, it's a meaningful part of my portfolio, put it this way, but it's not all of my portfolio for the reason that there is risks associated with it.
Yeah, I have similar concerns. With regards to the quantum threat, I would say that I'm more than a little concerned. And I would say that if there was a gun to my head, whether or not it would happen in the next 10 to 15 years, I'd say yes, because the qubits and the way that they're going to fix those errors, I think there's almost no chance that the quantum threat is not imminent. However, with the anti-quantum proposals at the moment, I think we can sort it out with a bit of mess. But that would be concern number one, but not necessarily something that I think is a deal breaker, because again, we can go over to a quantum resistant address, even though it will be messy. My biggest concern is the lack of social interest. Just people not wanting it, not giving a fuck about fundamentals, and just going, you know what? I get it. I get the whole digital scarcity thing, but I'm a low IQ and gold is good enough for me.
Yeah, that's typically when I go and buy. That's when I make all my investment decisions, is when no one gives a fuck. Like that's the time to buy. If you've got half a brain cell, you don't buy when everyone else cares about it, right? You're gonna get screwed. So will it fall out of favor? I could sit here and say it does fall out of favor every 4 years, very predictably and in a very, very meaningful way. Like obviously you could take that to the extreme of seriously out of favor, but just because it's out of favor for a decade doesn't mean it's not going to be seriously in favor a decade later. And if you take that longer term view, mate, the more it falls out of favor, the better the opportunity as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's very hard to debate against it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how to say bad things about Bitcoin. Yeah. It's hard.
Look at gold as well. Like Radine and I discussed this on the podcast, but gold did nothing for 20 years. And then look what it did in December and January, and just absolutely decimated everything around it. It's an absolutely insane move. But it did nothing for 20 years. No one talked about it. No one wanted it. But if you were accumulating, unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to take a meaningful position. And you probably wouldn't want to hold a meaningful position for 20 years because of the opportunity cost associated with your money doing fuck all for that period of time. But yeah, that's an example of how assets can do nothing, lie dormant, out of favor, and one day everyone wakes up and the thing just absolutely explodes.
I guess that would be my third concern. You raised opportunity costs. So, if you're playing the game, winning isn't really winning if there was something else you had in mind that you wanted to invest in that outperformed the thing that you actually held. So I guess, yeah, my concern right now is opportunity cost, because I do love Tesla. I'm an Nvidia guy. I love Palantir. I'm all with that Jew bucket, as I call it.
Yeah.
You know?
What
I'm
are
all
your
about
thoughts on
that.
the AI trade as we talk today then? Are you taking profits? Are you all in? Are we just at the beginning? Where do you see it?
With regards to which one?
The AI trade. So
Oh,
Palantir's, the Nvidias, the Microns.
yeah. So when people say the AI trade, obviously it's very vague when we say that, because if we're talking about Mag 7, okay, I'm bullish there. But what other assets can we invest in? Are we talking about like VC as well? Like, am I going to meet the founders and give him 100 grand, 500 grand? I'm less bullish. I'm less bullish on anyone that can't afford the compute. So basically, it's just the Mag 7 or the top 10 is my version of the AI trade. I presume yours is similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the run that some of these companies have been on, SanDisk, um,
Okay, yeah,
all the
some lower
speaker
cap
names,
ones.
like
Yeah.
insanity. So I mean, I'm taking profits aggressively for me and clients. Um, I fundamentally believe like this is heavy bubble territory on those smaller caps. But if the smaller caps come down, like the Mag 7, like how much debt have they used to fund this whole infrastructure build out, right? Like it doesn't take a genius to work out that excessive amounts of leverage and debt generally ends fairly badly.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit hectic at the moment. I saw the other day, because I'm not super plugged in to Mag 7 or any US equities because I'm a Bitcoin guy, but I saw the other day, I forgot the stock, the PE ratio, and I was like, what? It was something ridiculous. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I saw someone mention something about SanDisk's ride and some of the lower caps because of the hardware. I guess that's where silver kind of had a pump. Maybe it was utility in hardware for AI, I guess. Yeah, I mean, AI is real. And I guess if I was in the AI trade and I wasn't in crypto, I would still probably be a greedy cunt and just hold that shit and round trip it. I'm just so terrible at that. I'd be round tripping it,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
again, if you've got the long-term time horizon, which you clearly do, that's the way you approach your investments. Like, who gives a fuck if it drops 40 or 50% tomorrow? It really doesn't matter. But I'd argue the issue with the retail guys that do create these hypes and speculation in the bubbles is they're looking to make life-changing money in a matter of a day or two.
Yeah,
Which means they
no, you're
gamble and
right.
risk more than they can afford to allocate for a 5-year recovery.
I think having this chat, you remind me of some of the advice that I give to my guys that I don't take for myself. And I tell them this. I say, you have to set parameters. Okay, let's say you get into these low caps and Mag 7, you're all over the AI trade, and then you're up 25%. But if our parameters on paper said that if you make 15%, you were taking this much off the top and then playing with this much house money. Doesn't matter. You can't change your mind. Then that is something that I think most humans need to do when they're greedy, because I'll just continually move the goalpost.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've been there, in the latest crypto bull run, I had a few heavy leverage positions on a few of the altcoins waiting for an alt season that never materialized. And even then, it was sitting on some very, very great gains, but, was waiting for alt season, waiting for alt season, waiting for alt season, chasing, just being a greedy fucker, as you say. And then before you know it, I was leveraged, so liquidated, and on the stuff I wasn't leveraged, and you're sitting on it for 4 years waiting for a recovery. But that's you've got to be disciplined to consistently make money, and the greed
Man,
can
that
take
would
over.
be, oh, that would be heavy, because I don't trade, so I take out no leverage for my properties either. I'm basically someone who sets and forgets Bitcoin and then focuses on his shops in Indonesia. And now this came out of nowhere, this online business. I don't even know why people pay me.
Which business are you referring to? What's the main online business?
So people pay me 1,250 US dollars per month for WhatsApp access. So they're my friend for a month.
Okay, excellent.
And it's a monthly subscription. And I was expecting, I don't know, 10 or 20 guys, because I went a little bit viral there for 2 or 3 months in Dubai. I thought, oh, maybe there's, 20 guys out of 5 million views a month. Sure.
Yeah.
Some spare pocket change. And then I kept delaying it. I was like, nah, I don't want to monetize, don't want to monetize, don't want to monetize. And then a year later, I thought, we'll give it a crack. We'll give it a crack. We made a cheap website on Framer, or my mate made it for me. And then just the next day, the Stripe just went like the ding, the ding, the ding, the ding. I was like, fuck off. I'm gonna have to work.
How
I'm
many
gonna have to
subscribers
work
have you got?
now. I
How many
usually manage between 30 to 50 guys a month.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's full access. Like you could be talking to these guys about anything, whatever they want, all the time.
Should I
Man,
marry
it
my
is so,
girlfriend? Everything.
bro, it's so strange. And to my bros that I have now, you guys are the best if they're watching, and they often watch our streams. That's why I'm prefacing. I'm not talking about you, bro. Some guys I had to refund because some guys were very, very, very odd, and they were
Oh,
sort of
really?
giving me gay. Yeah, were giving me gay vibes.
Shut
Ooh.
up.
No, I
Mate,
swear.
that's when you just bring out another tier of subscription. For the gay sex talk, you want 10 grand a month instead.
I'll do
It
it.
was just to be frank with you, I'll say 25% of them just want to chat to me about whatever, just have a yarn. Then there's a subset, another 25% that want to meet, and they're the guys who have to refund because I'm not going to do that.
No.
Some of them I will meet, and some of them I have because they're genuinely cool dudes.
Yeah.
Then there's 25%, it's just Bitcoin questions because of my Bitcoin reels. Then the other 25% is the stuff that's real cringe that
Really.
oh man, I can't do it forever, eh? I can't do the whole manosphere thing.
No.
Nah.
Like, what's the weirdest sort of topic that has been proposed to discuss?
Well, I'm going to try and paraphrase because I don't want this person to feel singled out. But this has happened a few times. How do I be a better man? How do I act more masculine around my
Yeah.
woman? And I'm like, bro, do bears shit in the woods, cunt? Or what? Just do it.
You should refer him to books, specifically The Way of a Superior Man.
Man,
That's a good book.
well, I haven't read it. I'm
Well,
not
I know, but
qualified.
even though you haven't read it and you don't need it, some men do need it. Some men need life coaches.
But how do I recommend them a book if I haven't read the book? That's fraudulent.
You should read the book.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't.
not
You
going to
don't
read
need
the
to.
book.
You don't need to put your stamp on it. You can just say you've heard it's an unbelievable, which it is. I've got it. I've got it on my bookshelf here. I don't think you can see it, but great book.
It's a great book.
I am of the belief that these men in particular, cannot be helped. Even if they read all of the self-help shit, they get 10% improvement at best.
Yeah.
This is purely genetic.
I think the men that can't be helped are the men that are not asking questions and seeking help.
I would say they're a customer for life. They're the men that you want to be talking to.
Yeah, look, sometimes I'm too honest for my own good, I think, because I do see some pockets, but I'd say that I'm not cruel enough, I'm not ruthless enough, and I tell them like, bro, I don't know if I can help you. Like one of the, I don't want to say fuck. There's been a few guys that, let's say, physically they got dealt a pretty shitty hand.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
No, bro, no, bro, no, bro.
No
No.
amount of WhatsApp messages can help that.
You don't understand what sort of shitty hand I'm referring to here. I'm talking about guys that are barely 5 foot to start off with. And
Right.
height's important. And I often say this. I go, bro, I'm only 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. Yeah. And if you want to be a manosphere influencer, I just think by default, 6 foot and beyond. You've got to reach minimum height standard. Typically, you have to be white. If you're very black, I mean, I just don't think you meet the archetype. I said yesterday, I said Andrew Tate, if he was genuinely mixed race, like he looked black,
Oh,
I don't think he'd have a fraction of the success. He's got that dapper, Yankee cross Brit sort of archetype, tall, well dressed, well spoken. So tall, white, obviously minimum net worth, no face tattoos, and you have to speak really well. And these clients have just everything not going for them. Everything.
Yeah, all X's.
The height, the penis size, the attitude, and they asked me honestly. There was one guy on our Patreon too. He asked me what I should do. I said, bro, just get real rich. I think.
Yeah, but that's the default. That's the cure-all, right? If you don't have anything else, as long as you got deep pockets and you just buy the woman, and game over. You've won.
Yeah, I think the tongue feels the same on your cock, regardless.
Yeah, this is it. You're gonna pay for them one way or another, whether she's really into you or just there for the money. You're paying, so do what you can.
I think, by the way, I read somewhere the other day, dating a woman over 30 is like dating a guy under 6 foot, like 5'4". It's like the equivalent. Dating a woman over 30 is the equivalent of women dating a guy 5'4".
Look, it's definitely not a plus, but bro, if you're asking me to choose between a 30-year-old who's really got it going on, as opposed to a chick who's just young, I mean, no.
Correct.
I mean, 30
Yeah.
these days can. It's not a preference, and a man that has options is not going to choose the beautiful 30-year-old. He'll choose the beautiful 22-year-old, of course. Or if you're Muslim, you choose the beautiful 10-year-old, right? But ew. Ew. There's a doozy.
How is marrying a 10-year-old got to do with Islam?
I don't know. You tell me, mate.
Oh, here we go.
There's a few comments, but we're live.
Don't encourage it, Kevin. Don't encourage it. Don't encourage it, Kevin.
Actually, if I may defend Islam for just a moment, old canon law amongst the Christians was 12 for girls and 14 for boys to marry. So a 12-year-old girl. Now, Aisha was 9. Most people, 99% of people will agree that she was 9 when she did the deed with Prophet Muhammad. Now, whether or not a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old has had a bleed, had multiple bleeds, I assure you that 1400 years ago, they'd have looked 9 years old and 12 years old. How are you attracted to that? That's absurd. That's way too young. You know, I often say that 18 is too old. Bro, there are some girls that are ready to go at 16, but 12. Bro, 12 is a primary school kid.
Oh, you think the age should be from 18 to 16?
I think 16 is a good age, yeah.
I think it's 16 in a lot of countries in the world.
Brazil's 14. Now, there might be the odd 14 or 15-year-old out there that might confuse you. But generally speaking, you know, most girls, because you're looking at the average quality to be able to create a law here, all right, to protect everyone. 16 is about right. Then you'll have the feminists who are 30 and beyond say that a woman's mind at 16 is immature. And I think to myself, a woman at 30 mature? We're talking about women here, bro. There's nothing they can teach me at 40, at 30, at 20, at 16. What's the fucking difference? Look for the most fertile kind and less run through type. Now, for me personally, even though I do think 16 is fine for some guys, that to me is still too young. And for me, with my wife, she was 21 when we met. So I feel like I'm reasonable.
No comment from me on live stream.
But I think in Australia it's 16 too, yeah? 16, and then South Australia it's 17. But they make the laws very ambiguous. If you're seen as a manipulator, what do you mean manipulator? We are all manipulating a girl to get in bed with us the first time we meet them. All of us. What are you talking about? We're selling them. Imagine going. It's ridiculous. Of course you're manipulating. You go on your first date, what? You tell them all the bad things about yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's the same in the UK as well. I think if you're seen to be in a position of power, then you can't have sex with someone who's between 16 and 18. I think that's the category.
A position of power. So if you're a man that
With a job.
is in a position that all men want to be in. So if you're a man and you're in a position of power, which is a position all desirable men want to be in, then you can't fuck the most fertile girl, even though you're the most desirable male.
Yeah. Yeah, but the retarded, murdering freak who lives with his mom can. Make that make sense.
Yeah. That's odd. I don't know.
Now, listen. In the interest of me having a life outside of this stream, I want to keep it to like an hour a day. Is there a final question you have for him, Daniel? And Kevin, we'll get you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
I thought Kevin was great. I think people should definitely hire him. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
No more questions, Daniel?
I think that sums it up for today, because otherwise I'll just, get into the
Keep it
nuances
going.
of the nuances.
Keep it going. All right. Well, appreciate you joining, Kevin. Thank you. And
No, I appreciate the invite.
no worries at all. Yeah. And you can jump on for sure. We'll do it again in the future. I called the guests that we wanted, and then they didn't answer. And then I called the other guests that we wanted, and they didn't answer.
Oh, so
and
I
then
was
another one that I wanted. And then
Hey, you know what? Screw your
So-
future invites, mate.
so I said, you know who's doing fuck all, and we can call him? No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm a busy guy, I promise.
Appreciate you. By the way, me and Kevin did a podcast in a desert. That was a very, very fun podcast as well. So I suggest everyone
that was
goes look
awesome.
at that. So, Kevin Crowler, everybody. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.